Have you ever paused to consider why specific women possess an almost supernatural magnetism that keeps men perpetually entranced while others simply vanish from memory? It isn't a matter of physical charm alone. There is a hidden psychological frequency, a specific feminine vibration that most individuals never actually access. This internal state functions as a psychological magnet within the male subconscious. According to the insights of Carl Jung, any genuine bond between souls isn't forged through dialogue, but through a profound intersection of spirits that triggers ancient, buried archetypes. When a person unconsciously embodies these timeless patterns, they become the precise entity a man has spent his entire life seeking, even if he cannot define it. Put simply, men aren't truly addicted to your person, they are addicted to the internal state you trigger within them. They crave a woman who feels both intimate and distant, nurturing yet aloof, present yet slightly out of reach. She represents an emotional tempest that a man finds impossible to navigate away from. A woman's true power lies in her refusal to be defined. In this presentation for Shadow of Minds, I will unveil 7 clandestine dimensions of feminine energy that ignite a primal fascination in the male psyche, not through superficiality, but through the profound weight of your spirit. Some of these layers might startle you because you have likely possessed them your whole life without realizing their potency. Remain with us until the conclusion, for the final revelation will not only change how he perceives you, but will fundamentally shift your own self-concept. Number 1. The anima and the spark of ancient feeling. Deep within the masculine soul exists a blueprint of a woman that words cannot capture. This image isn't derived from the women he encounters in the external world. It emerges from his own interior, the collective unconscious and ancestral narratives passed down through an eternity of generations. Carl Jung labeled this the anima, the internal feminine archetype residing in every man's psyche, an intrinsic part of his very being. The anima isn't an idealized figure constructed by culture. She isn't a mirror of his mother or a former partner. Instead, the anima is a tapestry of sensations, visions, and instincts that a man hungers for but does not own. Softness, psychic depth, a sense of the sacred and profound mystery. When a woman walks into his reality and unintentionally stirs these dormant emotional strata, he is pulled toward her by a force of nature he can't explain. This is the activation of his most visceral essence, where intellect has no power and logic cannot intervene. Because it resides outside his conscious authority, it manifests as a total fixation. Jung argued that once the anima is triggered, a man no longer views a woman as a mere person, she becomes a living symbol. Consequently, he doesn't just feel affection, he craves her as if he is searching for a missing piece of his own soul. These archetypal women often display a vast emotional range and a fluid spirit. They aren't perpetually soft or consistently aggressive. Like the ocean, they shift calm one moment, but reflecting a sudden, piercing light the next. She might be compassionate now, philosophical later, and then unexpectedly sharp or daring without notice. This isn't because she is hiding, but because she lives honestly in every facet of her being. Like water, she can exist as vapor, ice, or falling rain. She is every version of herself simultaneously, and each one is authentic. She isn't afraid of her own vulnerability, yet she never surrenders her sovereignty. She doesn't pursue anyone because she is too occupied inhabiting a lush internal landscape that men can only hope to visit but never dominate. Jung warned that if a man fails to recognize the internal feminine within himself, he risks falling into a trap of obsession or false idealization. He may believe he is in love, but in reality he is chasing a projection of his own shadow reflected back through the woman. This explains why some connections feel magnetic yet destructive. The man isn't loving the actual woman, but the internal ghost she has brought to life. The anima isn't reached by conforming to a man's expectations. Therefore, a woman doesn't need to study psychology to touch this nerve. She simply needs to exist without apology, refusing to shrink herself for social approval. It is her complexity and her contradictions that fuel the most intense masculine devotion. So, the essential inquiry is, how does one reach this state without academic knowledge? How do you spark those visceral feelings without using games? The solution is found in the 7 feminine secrets I'm about to share. Before we proceed, I want to thank you for joining us here at Shadow of Minds. Your engagement helps us bring Jungian wisdom to a wider audience. If you find value in this, please like the video and share these lessons with those you care about, or simply comment, "I am ready for this shift" below. Secret number 1. The engine of emotional variety. There is a hidden reality most people miss. Men aren't captivated by who you are as much as how you make them feel. These sensations don't stem from being nice or pretty, nor from being constantly agreeable. They come from psychological movement, something that leaves him off balance, alive, fascinated, and unable to look away. This is the concept of emotional contrast. It isn't a strategy, it's a biological trigger. It's knowing how to create a high note and then falling into a meaningful silence. It's making him laugh and then providing a pause that makes him want to bridge the gap. It is shifting from vibrant to quiet, from soft to direct, from welcoming to detached without losing your integrity. Jung noted that the meeting of two spirits is like a chemical reaction. If there is a spark, both are changed forever. But for that chemistry to happen, there must be a charge. Contrast provides that electricity. A woman who only offers one note, always cheerful or always sweet, becomes predictable and, eventually, invisible. But a woman who dares to inhabit all her psychological colors makes a man want to explore her endlessly because he feels he hasn't yet found the map to her soul. Research indicates that unexpected shifts in emotion are major triggers for dopamine, the chemical of desire and focus. Those moments of, "I didn't see that coming," are exactly when he is most hooked. This is why we get addicted to intense stories or games. They aren't always pleasant, but they are never static. They offer a mystery to solve. Picture a woman who can joke playfully in a group, but when the topic turns serious, her gaze settles, her tempo slows, and she offers a piece of her soul. The man watching feels a shift in the room. He is startled and intrigued because she contains worlds he cannot predict. That is when his anima wakes up, as she touches something he cannot control. What is the result? Deep empathy, total focus, and a slight sense of vertigo. He is no longer just physically interested. He is part of your emotional orbit. In a world of masks, a woman who lives this way becomes a dangerous outlier. He cannot categorize her, cannot predict her, and therefore cannot control his own pulse when she's near. Psychology also proves we remember peak emotional experiences far more than flat ones. If you are merely nice, he will find you pleasant. But if you move him, pique his curiosity, and leave him slightly restless in your absence, you become a permanent anchor in his mind. No safe or predictable person can compete with that. A man's obsession begins where his understanding ends. No matter how rational a man claims to be, he will be pulled into a state of feeling he thought he was immune to. However, contrast isn't about being chaotic. It is the organized flow of opposites. Jung saw the human as a collection of dualities, light and dark, masculine and feminine. When a woman allows herself to express her own opposites, she helps the man integrate his own. He isn't just attracted to her, he is being awakened by the forces she stirs. In a fast, boring world, a woman who offers emotional depth is like a book with a twist on every page he keeps reading because he's terrified of missing the ending. This isn't a dating tip. It's the result of a woman being deeply connected to her own inner life, unafraid to walk through her own darkness and embrace it as art. When she realizes she can be both the fire and the rain, she stops just attracting and starts transforming. Secret number 2, the power of internal sovereignty. Contrast draws him in, but what makes him unable to leave? Share your perspective in the comments. We often find the best answers in our community's wisdom. This brings us to the energy of self-mastery. A woman might catch the eye through her shifts, but she inspires a permanent longing when she is already whole, not requiring a man to complete her narrative. Jung famously wrote that the greatest privilege is becoming your true self. A magnetic woman doesn't need a man to validate her existence. She doesn't need romance to prove her beauty. She is a finished masterpiece before anyone arrives. She doesn't stand by the window waiting for a savior. She nurtures her own soul every single day. In modern psychology, this is called emotional self-regulation, the skill of managing your own internal state without needing external likes or texts. Most people today are addicted to validation from their screens or others' opinions. This leads many to make their partner the sun of their universe. If a text is late, their whole world goes dark. Conversely, a woman with self-mastery can love with her whole heart, yet she never loses her center. She still hits her targets, meets her friends, and pursues her passions. She finds delight in her own existence. And this energy, non-needy, non-begging, is exactly what makes a man want to stay close. Jung called this individuation the journey of becoming a distinct individual. He believed that until we know our own values and fears, we are just playing roles. A woman who enters a relationship before she knows herself risks becoming a shadow of her partner. Every mood he has becomes her mood. But an individuated woman doesn't trade her heart for safety. She gives love as a choice, not a requirement. She isn't destroyed by a change in the wind. She might hurt, but she doesn't break. Her foundation was never built on someone else's land. Behavioral science shows we value what is rare. Emotional independence is the rarest commodity in modern romance. A woman who drops everything the moment he calls won't be valued as much as the one who says, "I'm occupied now, but let's connect on Friday." That isn't being cold, it's being high value. Men feel that difference in their bones. It keeps the low-effort men away while drawing in the mature ones who recognize a queen. But once a woman is standing in her own light, what keeps the attraction alive for decades? What makes a man want to peel back the layers year after year? It might be the one thing the brain can't solve, but the heart won't stop chasing, the mystery of the space between. Secret number 3, the magnetism of the unspoken. We aren't talking about playing hard to get or waiting 3 hours to text back. Those are just games that eventually fail. Real mystery is the space you leave empty, the parts of you that aren't for sale. Jung spoke of projection. When a man cannot fully map your mind, he fills in the gaps with his own imagination. You become more than a person. You become a legend, a reflection of his own deepest desires. This is why men say, "I can't stop thinking about her," even if they can't explain why. It's the ambiguity, the refusal to dump your whole life story in the first hour. When all the puzzles are solved, the game is over. Curiosity is the fuel of desire. You don't have to be secretive to be mysterious. You just have to be sacred. Stop explaining yourself to people who haven't earned the right to know. Consider this. If he asks about your past, you can say, "That's a chapter I only share when the trust is deep." That isn't a wall. It's a boundary that signals depth. It leaves him wondering what else is hidden in your library. In psychology, the Zeigarnik effect proves we remember unfinished tasks far better than completed ones. If you are an open book, he'll finish the last page and put you back on the shelf. But if you are a series of volumes, he'll spend a lifetime reading. Jung noted that mystery is to be explored, not solved. Men don't need to get you to love you. They need to feel that you are a journey. A mysterious woman doesn't hide out of fear. She holds back out of respect for her own depth. This isn't manipulation, it's soul protection. And that protection is an invitation to a real man. He realizes you aren't for everyone. He realizes that if you choose to show him a piece of your heart, it's a literal gift. Even mystery is just a shadow if there is no light inside. What makes a man want to inhabit your world? It's when he sees that your world is already a party and he's lucky to be invited. The great paradox of attraction is that the more you chase, the less you have. The less you try to impress, the more impressive you are. Jung said the most terrifying thing is to accept yourself. When a woman does this, she radiates a magnetic frequency that cannot be faked. It's the joy of her own company. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about being amused by your own life, whether anyone sees it or not. It's dancing in your kitchen because the song is good. It's laughing at a memory while walking down the street. It's being totally present in a moment without needing to document it for the internet. A woman who can entertain herself creates an atmosphere of peace. She doesn't demand that he entertain her. She isn't a void he has to fill. When he shows up, she's happy. When he doesn't, she's still enjoying her book or the sunset. Social psychology shows we are drawn to effortless energy. It makes us feel like we've stepped into a sanctuary. And the magic is, when you aren't trying to be funny or charming, that's when you are the most magnetic. Jung believed that nothing affects others more than the unlived life of those around them. Nothing hooks a man more than a woman who is truly living. He might like your face, but he'll obsess over your spirit, the way you light up about a small thing like a good cup of coffee or a stray cat. These things matter to you, and your permission to let them matter makes you unique. Self-delight doesn't require a perfect life. It requires a shift in focus. It's the freedom to be yourself without apologizing for your quirks. This also makes you bulletproof. If a man leaves, you might feel sad, but your world doesn't end. You still buy yourself flowers. You still enjoy the blue of the sky. This continuity is the ultimate freedom. Secret number 5, the gift of total presence. You can have all the self-joy in the world, but if you aren't there when you're with him, the connection stays surface level. Are you truly present? Not just waiting for your turn to talk, but listening with your whole soul. This is a desperate need in our distracted world. Jung saw self-development as the ability to be fully awake to reality. It's not checking your phone while he's talking. It's not judging his words. It's responding from a place of depth. Men have a deep hunger to be seen without being fixed. When he talks about his stress, he doesn't want a lecture. He wants a witness. Your silence can be more powerful than your advice. In psychology, this is called empathic resonance. When you are grounded, your energy pulls him into the present too. He starts telling you things he's never told anyone. You become the only place in the world where he can be himself. Presence doesn't take skill. It takes the courage to be still. A man can meet 100 beautiful women, but if he meets one who makes him feel like he's the only person in the universe for an hour, he will never forget her. You become an anchor. Secret number 6, the art of strategic space. When you are present, you make him feel alive. But what happens when you leave? This is where the scarcity bias comes in. We value what is rare. Jung said the mind swings between meaning and nonsense. We are drawn to what makes our hearts waver. Strategic space isn't about being mean. It's about not making your life an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you are always available, you become a habit. Habits are rarely exciting. Imagine you have a busy morning planned for yourself. He texts, "Want to meet?" Instead of cancelling your plans, you say, "I'm busy until 4, let's meet then." You aren't being difficult, you are being honest. When he sees that your time has to be earned, his respect for you skyrockets. He realizes he is a part of your life, not the owner of it. This makes every minute he gets with you feel like a victory. This space also allows him to wonder about you. That wondering is where the roots of love grow. If he knows exactly what you're doing every second, he has no reason to dream of you. Jung said that what we don't bring to consciousness feels like fate. Many women who fear being alone try to be too present, but that just dilutes their value. A woman who understands this uses space to protect her peace. She lets the bond grow at its own pace. She doesn't rush to fill every silence. She is a mystery that requires investment. And once a man invests his time and thought, he becomes emotionally tied to the outcome. Secret number 7, allowing him the chance to climb. We don't value what is free. We value what we work for. This doesn't mean you should be a burden, but you should be a challenge. Emotions deepen through cultivation. Jung said that what you resist grows. Men are wired to want to contribute, to provide, and to win. If you give him everything on a silver platter, you rob him of the chance to fall for you. Inspiring him to invest isn't about making demands. It's an energy. It's the feeling that your attention is a prize. When he feels like he's becoming a better man just by trying to keep up with you, he's hooked. Psychology shows that the more we give to something, the more we love it. If you do all the work in the relationship, he has no skin in the game. Let him help you. Let him see your needs. This gives him a role in your life. No one wants to be a spectator. In the end, it's not the gifts or the promises that keep a man. It's the feeling that he is investing in a version of himself that only exists when he's with you. Think of yourself as a deep, ancient forest. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're beautiful. You just are. Those who enter feel a sense of peace and mystery. You don't have to chase, you just have to be. Jung said your vision clears only when you look into your own heart. When you live from the inside out, you don't have to learn how to make him obsessed. You become the wind impossible to catch, impossible to hold, and once felt, impossible to forget. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to Winds of Thought and join our community. I leave you with one final question. Are you brave enough to stop chasing the world and start inhabiting yourself?